Hello, I'm Guillermo Blanc, and I'm a staff associate astronomer at the Carnegie Observatories. So the question is, do black holes gobble up everything around them? And the answer to that is really no. Most black holes form out of stars. When very massive stars die at the end of their lives, basically they collapse under the influence of gravity and they become extremely dense, almost infinitely dense, and compact. And that means that they can, being so dense and so small, they can exert extremely strong gravitational fields around them. In the context of Einstein's general relativity, we think of them as bending space-time around them so much that they basically form what you could imagine as an extremely or even an infinitely deep hole or pit that you can fall into, right? But just as you might have, in a field in the country, a extremely deep pit. If you think of a hole in the ground, that's infinitely deep, you could go and you could stand right next to the edge of that hole and look down, and the hole would not eat you, right? Now, the problem is that if you fall into the hole, there's no way you can leave or you can get out of that hole. If you fall into an infinitely deep hole, no rescue team, no matter how good you are at climbing walls, is going to get you out of there because you fell an infinite distance until the bottom of this hole. Actually, probably never end falling into it. We don't know what happens in the interior of a black hole or inside the edge of a black hole, what we call the event horizon or this point of no return. All we know is that once you go in there, there's no way you can get out. Right? We know that the equations of Einstein's general relativity tell us that if you go past that event horizon into a black hole, the amount of energy that you would need to accelerate enough in order to beat the gravitational field of that black hole and escape diverges. And when you look at the equations, you realize that amount of energy becomes infinite. And we know that there's no physical way in which you can summon an infinite amount of energy to accelerate an object. So black holes once you get in them or once you fall into them, there's no way to get out. But if you're standing, outside of this event horizon and you're away from them, you would just feel the same gravitational pull that you would have felt if the star that originally formed that black hole, for example, was sitting there at that same position. So no, they don't gobble up everything around them. Yeah.